Well, hello on a Friday evening. It's that late afternoon where I'm at. Just thought I'd come on and see if anybody's out there wanting to chat up some baseball. And just got some project updates we could talk about or anything else that strikes anybody's mind. I've built some more players over the last couple of days for the Negro League project. And I think I'm up to 100 and something. I'll double check here in a minute, but I added probably about 12 or 13 new players in the last day or so. So definitely having fun on the research behind all those ratings and all the stats, and a little bit exploring some of the bios of the players as well, because I'm utilizing that note section. You can pull up one of the folders here and take a look. I'm using we have a new bio folder or tab, I should say, that kind of, well, it's easy breakdown to show you the age, the year that your players come from, and what park they're assigned to. And I'm now using the notes. Oh, I see. I've got to update one for Ed Ryle here. I'm now using this notes section to be able to put bio information. So even though this tab's called bio, this is the one where I'm really kind of putting trying to find some unique things, very similar you might see on the back of a baseball card, I would say, on some of the series that used to have little fun facts about the player. So I'm trying to include that to just make it an all-encompassing trip down memory lane and a learning experience with the history. So happy to talk about some of that. In fact, I'm going to go look up Ed Ryle and drop in some facts for him. But having a blast doing this project. And it's one that I hadn't even contemplated taking on, although I love homebrew projects. I just had never thought about, do I really want to take on a full Negro League? Now at one point, similar to what Diamond Mind Online has, where they've got like their all-time greats, and they do have some prominent Negro League players blended in there. And I think theirs is honestly based, I don't know if it's career or whatever peak they're using, but I always thought, man, it'd be neat to have my own version of a all-time greats. It's based on a whatever many years. So I decided to just, once Beatles Eternally and that group wanted to take on a Negro League project, I thought this is the perfect time to do it. So what I did is I just started crunching the numbers, and now I'm knee deep in it and building the teams out. And now my goal is to have this as a standalone league file based on their best 3 years. And I'm also going to do one for Major League greats, just using their best 3 years. So, taking the same approach if we ever want to combine them. We played a test game a while back. I think this weekend, sometime tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night, if Beatles is up to it, we may do another all-time MLB greats against the Negro League greats, and I'm going to create a couple new rosters with some of the teams I've been working on, and have those ready to go for a head-to-head game tomorrow night. So hoping that's still in the works. I don't know what time. It may be late. Depends on Beatles' schedule, but we will see how that goes. MV is here. Hello, MV. I'm just killing some time talking to see if anybody shows up, chat some baseball, and show off some of the updates to the Negro League file, because I know you're excited about that and going to participate in a league project with this file eventually. And I'm just going into Discord just to kind of let people know. Going live, see if anybody else shows up. Hope things are well, MV. I'm going to take a peek and see how many I've got done. I've got Ed Ryle here on. Well, quick though. I've got to make sure. I'm curious as ever. How many players are in for the Major League race? So let's pull that one up. I've got a few more I can add tonight. This weekend I'll have some time to add those in. But I can go right to the database. And what I'm doing is I'm assembling them kind of on the team that they played the most for in the 3 years I'm choosing. So let's look at both pitchers and batters. And I've got 45 done. So we can go up here and sort them by, I'll just click by OPS. We could do it by batting average. And this is who I have built. And I've also got some Yankees I haven't built yet that are ready to be put in here, and a couple others. Let me take a look at, they're quicker for me to build because a lot of the numbers are more readily available, and I have a lot of ratings and things already done for these players from past projects. So it is quicker for me to build an MLB player than it is a Negro League player. Yes. So neutralize, I'll explain a little bit about that because it's a little different. I've got these folks. So what I've done is, because I'm using 3 years and I'm going to assign them to one, I've taken their stats and then I've readjusted those 3 stat years averaged to match all the eras and assemble it in the year it's assigned to. Hopefully that makes sense, right? So um, I adjust them on the outside because the game has to assign just 1 year. I can't go in and assign them to the average of the 3 years I'm using. So I have to do that manipulation outside and then towards the 1 year I'm going to use. And that way, that's how I'm handling the neutralization. A little bit more work on the outside, but I like that approach. And my stat head account I have through Baseball Reference is awesome. So it's allowing me a lot of easy reporting and being able to manipulate the data and do that. And I should say, I'm not only neutralizing. Let's take a look at Frankie Frisch here. So I'm using 3 different years for Frisch, and I'll tell you which ones they are here. Go find one of my tabs. So for Frisch, I'm using 3 different years. One of them may be with St. Louis in a different park. So I'm having to do a little bit of crunching on the outside, getting the park data, all 3 years, and then putting them and then readjusting it to the park they're going to be in so that that year thinks that those stats came that year, if that makes sense. So yeah, he's all neutralized, set to 1923 Polo Grounds. For the Negro League players, they oh yeah, Del Bissonnette he did because I just happened to be doing Burley Grimes and I clicked on Dell, and he had really 3 great years, and I just went ahead and made him while I had the that team tab open. Where is Bissonnette here? Oh, you can see him right here. Click on his deal. Right now, I've got him assembled on a like a Dodgers placeholder team, and they're assigned in a neutral park. But you can see right here, all of his stats have been readjusted towards 1930 Ebbets Field. For the Negro League players, they won't be assigned a field. There's no field data to really assign them to, so they've had to be viewed as neutral, and then I can run them through stat heads. And what I've done with the Negro Leagues is so that Action only has 8 seasons it's put out, MV, so it has I could rattle them off, the early 20s and like mid to late 30s seasons. So you can't really assign the player to a Negro League year. So I have to say, okay, I'm going to just adjust them and assign them to the year that is the average of their 3, but then convert all their numbers over to as if they put them up in the National League. So that's what's taken me a little bit of work on the outside, and I'm using the MLE data to do that and stat heads as well to do that because they're going to be assigned to a neutral field. So they need to have a year that means something. And since not all the Negro League years are there in the game, the NL is, I just have to adjust them over to the NL. So it's like me doing the work on the outside versus what, if they were assigned to the proper area, the game engine would do on the inside, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, and I'm also creating the pictures along the way. So for the players, I haven't dropped them all into this file yet. I'm just going to take a look at who I've got left to build. So I have players ready to add into the game. One of them is Luke Appling for the White Sox. I have Chuck Klein and George Sisler, and I have a bunch more to put in. I've got Stan Hack, Hal Chase, Bill Dickey, Gehrig, DiMaggio. So I've probably got about 13 or 14 players that I have all the data for. I just haven't gone over here physically and created them or the manual input to build them into the game yet. But I have all their data done. So I'm going to crank some more of those out here tonight while I have a chance, and early tomorrow, and maybe a few more Negro League players. And then I'm going to just kind of maybe assemble two different teams that for fun with some players, and then Beatles and I can figure out tomorrow night who wants to manage which team, and we can test them and have a little head-to-head fun at the same time. Let's pull up the NLB file. And here this one is, and you can see I've got the rosters now. I don't know if you've seen the past broadcast I did MV where now just to categorize them a little easier because I'm getting more and more players, I've broken them up. I might have to even break up the 40s and 30s into like 5-year increments as the teams get a little bit bigger, as I start building more. But you can see here I'm going to have to. He's a pinch hitter. There's still a few more things I've got to go in here and fix. So let's take a look at Alex Radcliffe here. Oh, there's my dogs going crazy. Now I'm back. I had a little, thought I was muting my headset here, and I think I shut it off or did something, so I had to unplug it and put that back in. But yeah, just taking a look at it. The players as they get a little bit more built out here. You can see I've still got to add some stuff here for Ed Ryle, but getting quite a few built. Let me take a look at the player I had here. So let's look. Radcliffe, I've got as a batter. So you can see if I'm trying to think, he's listed as a pinch hitter. I probably don't have fielding data. So I've got all their batting data in. Let me take a look at fielding for Radcliffe. Looks like I might have to do some editing right here and build this guy out. But Alex Radcliffe, third base, don't have it. So now I can enter. So give you a little peek. This is what I got to do for each position. So I need to enter his games played and put outs and this good information right here. And whoops, went over on one. So there's third base, and then Radcliffe is at short as well. And his ratings at short, and there. Now, I got two Radcliffes here. So one of the things you can do is I can come over here on his short name and just hit comma A, and I know I've got A Radcliffe there versus double duty Radcliffe, who's also on this file. So that can be a little bit confusing. So, which is Ted Ratcliffe. So let me take a look at him, because I think when I went in here and did the, I probably added the stats on the wrong Radcliffe. So yeah, let's see the other one. Yep, that's what I did. So let's get rid of those because that other Radcliffe shouldn't be rated there. He's going to be rated as, let me take a look. Double duty Radcliffe. Got so many players now. I got to make sure I can keep track of them. But it does take time, MV. Yeah, he's got one. He's just pitching, and so I can get rid of that. So he's got catcher. There you go. And then he's got games at pitcher. So that makes sense now. Glad I caught that. But yeah, you can see I've got some of these filling up quite a bit. And if I pull the database up and see how many people I think I got over 110 now. I'm hoping. Look at all of those. OPS. Let's see what we got down here at the bottom. So hey, 112 I'm up to now. So got 112 built. So let's see how many I can get done here by through the month of February. I think I've got plenty of data in that to build a big pool. I think I know Beatles wanted to have like 8 teams of 20 some players. I think we could have 10. My goal would be, could we get 10 players of 20, 25 on the team? I think it's um, very doable. It's just a matter of time and how fast I can crank them out, because they do take time. No matter how proficient I get at my formulas and what I'm doing, and I've got a flow down, but still a lot of things you got to take into consideration. So MV saying it took him 9 months to do players for a cricket game. Every 2 years I do it again as the game updated. Wow, yeah, it can be tough, but I am enjoying it, and learning a lot about some of these players. If you just sort it by average, there's plenty of players that 300 and above, but there's not. But there's a couple right now, and again, I'm anxious to see my formulas as I start building out the major league greats in the equivalent to see how they match up. Because right now you'll see the ones that really stand out with high, I'd call them like those Ty Cobb type of um, Joe Jackson type of batting averages. And remember, these are all pre 1950s players. Um, Charleston, the people you'd see, right? Heavy Johnson. I didn't really know a lot about Heavy Johnson, but man, he's got really great batting stats. Even when you major league equivalent him over and start neutralizing it, he's got a lot. He's got power, right? And but here's a lot of over 330 and up. Quite a few hitters right here. Some names I recognize. Some names I never knew before. Matthias Russ. Never heard the name in my life. But look at this batting line. He's a 330 hitter, right? Um, Cycle it by home runs right now. I mean, Josh Gibson stands out because you know 340. Josh Gibson to me is very. I don't know if he's more Lou. He's more Lou Gehrig to me. Um, kind of how he plays. Oh, MV. Here's what we can do. And I know if people own the file, we can give them the file, and they can have fun and get in the game and look at it. But if we don't own the file, one of the things that we can do, in fact, let's take a look at it right here. If we've got a team assembled here, I could go to 1939. Let me see what I can do here as far as team reports. So I can say, I can export the roster to CSV, okay? Let me see what I can view or print roster. Let's view it. Okay, right away I can hit view. Now these are things that even if you don't own the game, we could easily export these here and then post them at the Discord site or even email them, right? And this is a nice snapshot because you're getting how many games they played. You're getting to see in an easy line here some of their main batting stats, and you're getting to see all the positions they can play and what their range rating is. So to me, this is a nice quick snapshot as you're looking through rosters. This would be every um, person you could see. So if you don't own the game, this is probably an easy way to have information to sort through for a draft. Who would I consider a steal? Let's take a look at that. Who would be a steal? I like to add their rating and value here because this will also show. We can also put age on here. And I think let's put year too. What's cool is we can add all these fields. So I can sort by all this now. And let's take a look at the how much the game is putting on there that you'd have to pay them based on their performance, right? So you can see number one right here is Josh Gibson. But what's interesting to me is some players that you can get right down in this area that this guy stands out to me. I don't know if I'd call him a steal. I've come to really appreciate this Cristobal Torriente because of his high batting average, right? He's got some decent power if you look at, his era numbers. I mean, he's got some speed on the base. I mean, he's got an 8 base running ability. The guy's pretty well-rounded. He can play 2 outfield positions above average. He can even play third if you need it, and he can pitch. When we go look at his pitching, his ERA plus is over 100. So I mean, that's just to me, that's just kind of a great option to have. Not only do you have a guy that can bat, what's he start? Now he's only got 5 games he pitched, so let's keep that in mind, right? So it was a brief pitcher, but real high average, good on base average. Maybe I was more surprised. I didn't know as much as I thought about Torriente. I knew the name, but I didn't really realize that his batting line was going to be that good. There's some other ones that I'm reminded of that I've built recently. Like we just search by average. Let's go to the lowest average person. It's probably going to be a pitcher, right? There's some people that I've done in the last couple of days that are really just good fielders. So it makes me think, do you get a bat and then grab somebody who's a great fielder and you've got a backup there? You could go either way with that, or do you just grab somebody like, I know you're a Bingo DeMoss fan. However, I don't know. Now, if this was a draft league and I was having to go with money, and if we were having to have a budget, yeah, he's a great defender, right? He's a 10, but he's not going to hit with any power. Only got 1 home run. His average is about average batting, but you're going to get a stellar defender. And yes, Bingo is your man. So MV, would it be safe to say that if you had the first pick in the draft, would you take Bingo over Oscar Charleston or Josh Gibson? That's a question right there. And John Donaldson. I haven't done Donaldson yet. Bingo is my man. Yeah. No. Okay. So you're going to get Bingo on your team, but you're going to get him for the value. But I know who I would. Yeah. And to me, it would come down to these two. Am I going to go with and the reason? Oh, Donaldson. Maybe I'll build him next. Uh, in the test games that we did, Charleston, I don't think did very well, but it's amazing to me because you look at this, and not only do you have the highest batting average in the league and 30 home runs, but you have this. You got basically a gold glove. I mean, you got a 10 center fielder, and you can play him at first base if you want. And here, and look at this. And granted, he only pitched 6 games and started 2, but you could spot pitch him. So is it Charleston that goes first, or is it this guy who's just look, his OPS is 222. I mean, this guy's a beast at the plate. I mean, he's got a strong arm. He's an above average catcher, range wise, I think. Yep, 7. You can play him at first. He can even play corner outfield positions and third, and he's got a strong arm. I mean, and you're getting the home run king of the Negro Leagues right here by far. So let me go. I'm going to go pull up my other screen here and check this Donaldson you're talking about, MV. Let's see. John Donaldson. Let's see. A lefty, throws lefty. Ah, he's a pitcher. Hmm. And a two-way player. Is that what you're saying? So it looks like I can get him. I'm trying. I'm looking here now, figuring out what years I would use. It looks like 2021 for sure, and then maybe 19 or 22. So I got to figure out which three. And he's a 280 career hitter. One of those years is going to. Okay, his batting line is going to probably be. I'm just going to guess right here. He's probably going to show up as about a 290-ish hitter. Okay, for Donaldson, and I know he could play. Let me take a look at his fielding over here. He'll be able to play. It looks like he'll be able to pitch and play all three outfield positions. He'll be rated at all three. I can see that so far. Let me take a look at his fielding. So he's a 2.96 ERA. Now let me take a look at his major league equivalency here. You got to have MV. This is the fun of the whole thing, isn't it? Just and you know what's funny is that's the fun of it, right? How do you construct your team? I don't know if anybody watched the test game that Beatles and I did. We took different approaches. I went for these guys with OPS. I mean, I had Charleston on my team. I had Josh Gibson. He went for straight speed. He was looking for people with most stolen base attempts. He had Cool Papa Bell. And you know what? At the end, when we went in extra innings, he ended up out slugging me. That was the irony there. But yeah, so I'm looking at Donaldson. Now I'm going to go pull up my MLE stuff on him. Just take a look here as a pitcher. And I hope I got him. I do. In fact, I'm going to drag some of this over because maybe I'll just create. Should I just go over here on my side and do you mind? Hey, Big Clue, do you guys mind waiting and talking and chatting while I construct Donaldson for you, and then you get to see the big reveal and I can build him into the game? I don't know if it's. I haven't gotten anything else to do on a Friday because my wife's out of town visiting family back in New Mexico. It's me and the dog, so I got time here to do some home brewing. So what the heck? I might as well do it and create the next player. So let me go drop. Yes, love to see you construct Donaldson. Okay, so let me drop him over here, and then I might give you a peek under the hood here. You know, I have my own little secrets over here, formulas, but I definitely have. Okay, so he's going to be a pitcher. Man, I'll tell you one thing I've found here. If you guys can think about this, the pitchers are tough because every pitcher has at least what the batters have, right? So for batters, I have to do all their batting. Then if they played multiple positions, that takes more time because I got to go rate them and get all the right numbers at those positions, right? Now, with a pitcher, even if they didn't play other positions, I've got to do pitching, which I didn't have to do for the batters, and everything else I got to do for them. And then if it's a pitcher that played multiple, as you can see. So pitchers can sometimes take almost twice as much time to get them constructed. Very underestimate. You know what's funny? What I was looking at on his real stats, because I'll look at his real stats, his career average, then I'll look at the three I'm going to choose, and then I'll go look at the MLE, and then I'll stat head him. And I'll use stat head to bring his stats towards the actual year. So let me grab him. There might be some people tuning in going, what in the world is this broadcast? They don't know. Or as my wife says, are you going to spend time tonight with your baseball nerd friends? I'm like, yeah, I think so. So let's drop him here. Okay, Donaldson. So MV saying 21 might be the other season, right? So if I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I see the ones we're going with right here, just for the pitching. We've got to get that pitching line. 20. Get rid of these. He's not going to have that many games started, but if I'm looking at an overall average here, looks to me like he should average. They've got him averaging. Okay, about 32 starts MLE. Let me take a look at what is based on a 162 on his career. He's going to go 38-30. And I'll split those two. So I'm going to have him at 35. Okay. Blue uniforms. Nice. You're talking about the old school baby. It's that royal baby blue stuff, huh? Or powder blue might be the might be it. Okay. All right. I can tell you the average of years I'm using. You average them all up. Josh Donaldson will be set to 1918 MV. 1918. So he will be on that 1910 to 1919 roster. Let me get my IPs. Three. Well, he's looking better than I thought he would. 41 walks, 113. Runs are 71, 55. Oh man, it's not giving up any home runs. Anyway, this is fun. Let's see what we got. Wild pitches. Win and losses. I got 16, 11. Seems to have been a masterful pitcher. Please tell me why. I haven't read his bio yet. He's a lefty, which is always nice to have a great lefty pitcher. So if I split that, 35. Okay, now I'm going to go stat head his. Now I'm going to stat head him into National League. National League 1918, no park. And see what this does to adjust. Came close to Election Hall last year. Okay. All right, I got a couple to review here. Okay. We MLEM, his ERA is going to hit 3.0. His MLE ERA is going to be, that's pretty good here. .22, but I got to average that with the other ones. And we got him at 296. And then the 3 years, we got 6, 2.13. All right. Now I'm going to have to build him out that MV. I'm telling you, they say Satch modeled his style on Donaldson. Oh, yeah, but he definitely was an era or I guess the generation exiting when Page came in. So let me take a look at, start getting his line built here. Boy, I'm locked down in all my numbers over here. Who we got here? Oh, we got 4 people hanging out. Listen to me talk and crunch numbers and build up the anticipation for MV. So let's go right here to the file and start getting a placeholder for him, and I'll start building him and bring the DRAM in. So we know he's going to be 1918. So I'll come over to the game. He's going to be mainly a pitcher, but he's also going to have some batting. So when you come over here to create a player, I can create, and I choose whether he gets displayed with pitchers or batters. Well, he's going to be both because he's going to have some fielding there too. So I'm going to delete a lot of this bleed over ghosting that it has right here, right? So I can just save him. He's a no name right now. So let's go right to, let me back out of here and double check something. Okay, so we're going to go John, boom, Donaldson. You guys get to appreciate how manual this really is, right? So we can see, I know he's 6'1". I'm getting his stuff ready right here. He's 6'1", 180. He's left. He's going to be, see, he's born in 91, so we're going to add 9. He's going to be 27 years old in his base year of 1918. Bam. There he is. So now I got a placeholder at least here for him. I don't know what, I might have to go back here and figure out what's going on with Pettis. And I don't think Pettis pitched. So I've probably, when I built him, oh, yeah, that's what it was. So when you build a player, sometimes I bet you I selected pitcher. Yep, he's really a batter. So I can just unclick this so he doesn't show up on my pitcher tab, right? He's over where he needs to be as a first baseman. So now let's go into Donaldson. So I've got him built. And the first thing we'll do is let's go edit pitching, because that'll be the first thing I show you. So let me pull up Real, and you'll see that everybody's got their data except Donaldson. Now, the cool thing about this game is if you don't have some of this data, it will create it for you. It'll give you a historical breakdown of doubles, triples, because we don't have the pitching data like RetroSheet does for a lot of them to do breakdowns on, to be really accurate on batters face. Seam has stuff, but it's not 100% pure. So we can do a batter's face on it and create at bats, and then let the computer run historical breakdowns on doubles and triples and get that line, and then we go over and just have it do generic lefty righty splits, because I build all that in for the MLB because we have all that data. But let me start crunching this, and then I'll build in his pitching line, because I know MV, it's like being in Frankenstein's lab. Yeah, I'm over here doing my numbers, and then I'll reveal them as we type in his pitching stuff. Let's see, we got 35. I think we'll go 28. Let's see, his complete game ratio. Oh, this guy was good. He basically finished. He's going to finish 80% of every game he starts. Okay, that should put him at 22. Games finished is going to be an estimate because they didn't really track that, but you got to figure the ones he didn't start's 8, no doubt. It's probably half of those. Hits given up. Got 2, 2, 3, and 6. Got 2. Yeah, he's pretty good. So what's happening? When Beatles gets here, we'll have the Abby normal brain. Yeah, let's see if Beatles shows up. I don't know what he's doing. I don't remember what he said he's doing on a Friday night. I do know that he's committed halfway to playing a good head-to-head game tomorrow night. And my goal is I'm going to get a good mix of a Negro League team, an All-Star team, and then one of my Major League team. I'm going to add probably tonight or in the morning. I'm going to add some of the Yankees in, like Gehrig and DiMaggio and some of them, and I'm going to put together like a 22-man roster um, for each, and then we can figure out who wants to control which one tomorrow night and do some more testing. Right, have some fun head-to-head, but also be able to test the file out and see how they play. And what I'm really interested in is seeing how they play cross league. That gives me a lot of insight into how well I think my formulas are working and all of that good stuff. So Josh Donaldson here, he's going to give up 9, 221. The mad scientist over here cranking some numbers. 243 is going to give me 214. All right. What else has everybody got going on out there? Anybody doing anything fun this weekend? I guess not. Just hanging out here, watching me build John Donaldson, getting his pitching line here. I'm about ready to put in. So let's take a look at regular ERA. Okay, I know the ERA. Okay, so we're going to go 2-2. Heading back to Cardiff. Been away this week. Nice. Where do you exactly live, MV? I think Beatles may know that, but I'm not sure. I know exactly where you reside. Southern Wales. All right, nice. Had no idea the Welsh spoke like their own different language. We're watching. We're BritBox people. My wife and I are watching all these police dramas that we've seen, and then we watch a ton of shows from over there on BritBox and love them. And there was one that was based in Wales, and they had their own language. And I'm like, I've got Welsh blood. Had no idea they had their own. Can't even remember the name of the show now, but we like binge watch all the British police dramas. Doing some important stuff right here, MV. Oh, I nailed it. So it's 72 is the one. So here we go. Here's the numbers we've got so far. Oh, whoops. Let's give them my two. We're going to be estimating these are going right to hits given up per inning, right? Always good if you give up less hits per inning you pitched. Never seen a baseball game ever. What the heck? Do you have any plan on, the NFL goes over in that neck of the woods to do some games in Europe, but I don't know about baseball. So I'm guessing if you ever came over here, that's going to be a bucket list thing. Turn down to see the Blue Jays. Well, yeah, it makes sense. I'm not a big Blue Jay fan, but so we got 55 to 71 times 72. It's going to be 92. Well, he's not looking too bad right now. This is the key. How many home runs is this guy going to give up? So we got 14 from wow. So we got no known home runs on this. MLE is going to put him at 1. That's crazy. Now let me go take a look at 1918, the difference. This guy might be really tough. He didn't give up hardly any home runs. Maybe 1, maybe 2. So let's look at 1918 over here. Oh yeah, he's 4.2. Coming over 4.1. Yeah, so we don't have to adjust him at all. That's crazy right here. So he's going to have 1 more. Boom. You can see compared to the other ones, that's pretty good. And so we've got hit by pitch numbers. That's going to be 6, 2 on a wild pitch, 6, 4 wild pitch. Okay, now he's 4 wild pitch. My pitch is 6 balls. We got to figure how many balls is he going to give up here. We got 41. So we got 1 line at 46. And we got to adjust a hair. Wow. This guy's got great control. So how many strikeouts is he going to give up? That's another one. These get a little bit more. Oh, he's for the Negro Leagues. He's got some good strikeout numbers. So we're going to go 145 and 127. We got to average those. And we'll take a look at strikeouts. You can see Negro League 106. He's going to get bumped down. We'll put him at 2, 1, 2, 3. So, and good stuff, huh? So my parents being young, they had American magazines in the house, and one day there was a feature on the Yankees. And then you read and you were Nice. I like that. My Donaldson is your Jim in exchange for that Bissett. Yeah, Bissonnette. That guy. It was funny when and I'm like, Del Bissonnette. I think I've heard the name, but if you looked, he had like maybe 4 or 5 seasons, and three were really good in a row. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's going to be great. Um, since I'm using their best three, he's going to look pretty good, right? So we're getting close, MV. I've just got to get his walks figured out now. So we got those at 46. And over here, we're going to go 0.9. What's this at 65? I'm over here just having a blast with numbers, man. I see them in my sleep. And we'll put it at 56. And we got no bulk rating on that. And I think, man, it's odd though. Win losses. I'm showing him, let's see, going 18 and 12. Oof. All right, so now we've got him all the stuff that we have, right? So when we don't have this, we're going to go right to batter's face. It'll get you batter's face. Then once it has batter's face, it'll have the at bats. It'll figure that out for you. And then it's going to estimate our doubles and triples for us. Boom. Then we come over here to edit pitching versus left. I'll rerun it because you can see as you fill it in, it just gets some placeholder information there. Do it. And now we've got his pitching line is done. So let's look at him. It's showing the wrong. Yeah, I'm going to have to back out. Right here, let it reset, come back in. Let's take a look at Donaldson. There you go. So there he is. He is built in the game. Except now I've got to go figure out his batting line now. And see, I haven't even looked to see what other positions. I think he plays the outfield positions. No nicknames. So let's see here. He's going to play 17 left, 69 center, 13 right, and 39. So, yeah, he's going to be a two-way player. Yeah. Now you're seeing how long it takes. Yeah. Yeah, very similar. Little bit better whip, right? I mean, he doesn't. I think he has many, not as many strikeouts, but not as many walks as he does. So, not as many hits. But I'll tell you one thing: he's going to be tough because if you look at home runs given up, just at the straight line right there, that's huge. I mean, he's at 2 home runs. He's going to be tough to give up a home run on. I mean, you'd have to have a real powerful hitter to come up to help kind of match up the pitcher batter card. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, WGN following the Mets and the Cubbies. Yeah, that was. I can remember being in high school back then when we got cable. I think I was a junior in high school, 81 or whatever, and we got cable TV, and it's like, oh, they got the Cubs on here. I could see my local Tiger games on WDIV on Channel 4 there, but got my father-in-law cable many years ago, and he's never even been to Atlanta. He became a Braves fan because he's watching TBS all day long. So that was kind of neat. I was a big fan of Dwight Gooden for sure. So let's figure out Donaldson's batting. So I'll go over here to Donaldson, edit batting, and we can see this line happen. So now that I know how many other games besides pitching he's going to have to get in here. It should be. So that's 39, 49, 64. It'll be 115 games. I should just go. So is Donaldson any good of a batter? What do we think here? Let's check these out. All right. So I got him. He's 280 real. He's he's 300 over those years there. Bobo, Newsom, and Schoolboy and Bridges. Yep. 1940 series replay. Yeah. See if you can um, beat the Reds. That's the key thing here. Oh no, let me guess this. You don't want to beat the Reds. You want to beat the Tigers. So you want to look at Donaldson's batting stats neutralized here. Not bad. Got to set him to 1918. You guys are getting insight into how long it takes me to build a pitcher. Mm-hmm. Yep. So here's what I can tell you. Here's what I got so far. He's going to play 130. He's got 35 at pitcher, but he's going to be playing 134 total. We'll have to get his other positions built out. We know he's got 492 at bats. Now, let's get this average line. Just going to be. Did you think it was going to take this long, MV? That you'd have to sit here and wait with all this drama to get one player built? Donaldson's got. And 280. So his average is gonna be 286. So here we go. That we know. Now let's figure out doubles and triples and all that good stuff. The drama is what makes the. Let me tell you what. This is stuff my wife's like, oh my god, you and the numbers again. What is going on? But yeah, I love this stuff too. So let's take a look at this batting here. He's got, hmm. Let's go. Now we're crunching in some of the harder ones here. 70 RBIs. Walks. Gotta just walks down. So here we go. I got some new data coming in. 1853. Oh gosh, I'm going the wrong way. I'm not tabbing. Oh my gosh. $28. I gotta see if I have to adjust hits. Do a little bit. This is 24. And there's this batting line, so it'll automatically do the lefty righty splits on that. So if we pull up him, we'll be able to see his batting now. Look, it's still showing the wrong picture there, but we'll get that fixed. Oh, it's defaulting to him, but that'll change after we. Still showing the wrong picture, but that'll get overwritten. So there's his batting line. I do. Oh yeah, big clue. I don't have a problem with it either because we're forced to do it, right? But if it's real, like with the MLBers, I'm putting all their real data in because we have all that stuff. But yeah, the game does a good job. It is, and you know what? His true winning percentage is high, but the MLE and the neutralizer reduce the win percentage a little bit. So I'm trying to think how much it got reduced over here on this side. It was, that's batting. But they're showing here, what have I got him at? 18 and 13, I think. Yeah. Anyway, 286 hitter. Now here's the fun stuff. We got to go figure out the field because I've got 134. So here's what I've got to figure out. Let me turn on my light here so my computer calculations work good. Now here's the fun stuff. So that's how long it took us to get the batting and the fielding done, or the pitching. Now let's go look at the fielding. So I'll open up that tab and I'll edit it as I go here. So we open up fielding. Okay, leave it right there. Go over to field. I'm going to fill in his basic info here. So we know he pitches. So we have 99 other starts at field positions to figure out. Let's take a look at those 3 years, how many he played per year in those. Okay. So we got 17 left. 75 center and 11 right. Then I'll figure out the percentage games he played at each one. I'm going to play left field about 8% of the time. Center field about 86% of the time. And right field, he's going to play 5% of the time. So I'll bring this thing over and you can kind of see if anybody wants to see how I'm going to rate him. So I've got my positions right here. I got left, center, right. He's going to get rated at. And now I know he's got 8 starts, 85, and 5. Going to have 85. Now we'll go figure out the putouts and assists, error rate, and all that good stuff. Okay, I think this will be 113 big clue. I'm doing this one live for people that have no life like me on a Friday night that want to tune in and look at this nonsense. This, I think, will be 113. So let's take a look at what kind of a fielder Donaldson was when he wasn't pitching. Oh, he's pretty good, actually. Oh, first place, his hold's about a 4. So one thing I'll do is I'll go right over here. You can see edit general, and I'm going to give him, I haven't generated his other stats yet, but he's a 4 hold rating. Let's get that done from the pitcher side. Let's go back to his fielding. We'll start with left field. And let me get these figured out real quick. Go to left field. And we're going to have he's going to have 13, 0, 1, 0. So he's going to have 13 put out, 0, 1 error, 0 on that one. And He's a 7 range. Let me get his arms. I gotta add up all these. So we're -3, -5. Let's go to center field. We've got 85. 161 putouts. His errors, we got to adjust the errors are 12, and then I got to check my error rate over here. 19, 18. Yeah. Should bop it down. I bopped it down too. So we got 13 and 10. And I'm going to bet he's probably about maybe 2. Yep. 2 double plays there. Now right field, he only played 5 there. What kind of range we got? Oh man, he's got left and right. Not so good in center. Yeah, it makes sense. And right field, 800. There we go. So now we've got this information filled out. So let's get that in there for him. He's a left field, 8, 13, 0, 1, 0, 7, and a 4-arm. Center field, more games. Right field. And we go to pitcher. He's got his 35. Now let me go figure his pitcher info. Okay, pitcher. Well, he's up. Range is a 7. And let's see, what do you guys? Beatles will just stare at the screen. He loves the side of the rosters. Is that while he hums "Highway to Hell" in the background? Right? Yeah, I should kick that on for him. Always got the good stuff going here. So if anybody's just joining us, there's drama as I'm creating John Donaldson live here, uh, getting it done for MV, and at the same time you're getting to see how long it takes me to create a player, specifically a pitcher, because you're doing everything: fielding, pitching, batting, and this guy's playing 3 outfield positions too. So figuring out his pitching. 35, he's going to have 11. Got 1184. 1184.3. And double plays. So now we have him done, I think. John Donaldson is done. So now all I'll have to do later is now I'll have to go and get his player photo, get his card template, get the card done, and then add over here. I'll have to put notes in for him. I still got to do Manuel Cueto too. So anyway, there's Donaldson. Then I can come out here for the stuff we don't have and hit my defaults and get my default ratings on here for the ones that I don't automatically do myself. And if we go back in, there we go. Got to see the salary. Let's take a look. So Big Clue asked about the database. Let's get all players, refresh it, and let's look at the value. Where is that guy? Well, you know what we could do? Let's just view all. Let's see how many I got. So I think that's 113 now. So I got 113 players done. Let's just look at pitchers and see where he ranks as far as value on pitchers. Well, Oscar Charleston gets the value because he's technically showing up for pitchers, but he's getting a lot of that value because of his hitting. Look at Donaldson cracked the top 10 in salary. There you go. Memvi wasn't that far off. This is a top 10 guy in salary because you can get great pitching out of him, and he's serviceable. I mean, he's a 286 hitter, and he can play all three outfield positions. Let's see what else we know about him. 6 base, average base runner and all that good stuff. And again, I haven't gone back and edited. I have once I do the BIOS, I've got some stuff that's given me all the pitches they threw and if there was a specialty pitch. So I've yet to go in and edit this and give, an estimated fastball speed. It always defaults to 75 if you create from scratch, and then figure out like, is there a specialty pitch, right? Like some people, it would be a screwball or a knuckleball. That stuff I still haven't gone back and redone as I built it. But so yeah, so MV's happy. He's a top 10 pitcher is what this is telling me. And overall player, yeah, he's still number 9. So there you go. Number 9. Hey, the computer's ranking him a higher salary than Turkey Stearns. Come on. Yeah, 20, was it 20 minutes, Big Clue? Maybe it was, but yeah, that's probably so if you figure give me another, 5 minutes, or it's probably about 30 minutes a player from start to finish, I want to say, because I can get on Google, grab some photos of John Donaldson, and then I've got my templates, and maybe I got to colorize it or enhance the image, and then have 1, 2, or 3, depending on how many pictures there are, and have that ready to go. And then I check it off my list, and yeah. So let me write. I'm trying to keep my list here. I kind of went through it fast. Let me see how many hit batsmen he had. Yeah, I got it right here. 2. And his fielding, 11, 84, 3-1. Perfect. I'm just putting him in my tracker here so I know he's been done, and I just got to build. He's built in the game. I know I just have a photo left for him. And he's 6-1. And then I'll have to get a new picture. It's defaulting to somebody else's picture right here. Lefty versus lefty. Or he's lefty thrower, lefty batter. Cool. Just updating stuff on my end here. It's a pitcher outfielder. How old do I have him here? Yep, 27. Perfect. So good. Now I've got all my stuff updated on this side. And that's how it's made. Now, she does not appreciate my mad skills here. She doesn't even understand it. You know what's odd is those of us that are into this, I've got a couple of friends of mine that are good friends, that are even sports fans, right? And try to explain to them this hobby. You either know or you don't, right? You're either into this kind of cards and dice, stat crunch, and this kind of stuff, or you're into more, hey, I just like watching sports, or maybe console gaming, right? Its own thing. But I've been a loss for words sometimes as I try to explain to everybody, oh, home brewing and creating. And they're like, what are you talking about? Oh, I know historical stuff. And what do you mean historical? It's already happened. It's like, yeah. Sometimes it's like, oh, okay, this isn't going anywhere. I guess I don't have the words to get you to understand what this hobby's all about, but I tried. So John Donaldson is in. So I'm up to 113. So I guess I can take a break, go eat dinner, maybe relax the rest of the night. And then guess what? I'll be back. And maybe, I don't know if Beatles is coming on later tonight. I'll be back to check that out. Or, and probably just start cranking some more players out. I do want to crank in I've got like Bill Dickey, DiMaggio, Gehrig, and get some of those built onto the MLB greats. And then I'm going to start just kind of handpicking a really cool team to have for each. So I can have that ready to go for a head to head if Beatles is not too sloshed when he gets home. So get the OPS on this. Willie Wells. I had no idea Willie Wells was that strong of a hitter. And this is a good. This might be a guy to pick up too, right? Because everybody knows Gibson and Charleston, but this guy, look, he's a 9 at shortstop, and he's got a batting line like that. He's a 346 hitter with 26 home runs. I mean, I'm not sure Willie Wells gets the same kind of credit as some of these other names, but for this file, it's some pretty good numbers right there. The other guy that I wasn't familiar with really at all was this guy, Heavy Johnson. Heavy bat and a heavy guy. But he's got 19 home runs, which in the dead ball in the eras they played in and in the parks where they played in some big pitcher friendly parks, that's really good. And a 365 hitter. I like that MVC. He will stare at the screen looking at the rosters. Yeah, I sent him a file last week, I think it was, when I had like about 70 done. And no doubt he was staring at the file. Here's what I like. Um, Unpolished fielder that relied on his slugging. Yeah, that was one of the best quotes I could find on Heavy, also known as Pops. Some other ones, Alejandro Ohms. It's one I built yesterday. Led the Cuban League 3 times and was MVP twice, 325 hitter, 14 home runs. Another interesting player. Plays left and center. So, well, it's been fun. I just thought I'd pop on. I was going to get on a little earlier and put it on Discord, but then real work, as I say, real work got in the way. And I do know MV that this is my real work, this file, but my other work that I get paid for required some stuff, so it put that off to be a little bit later. But yeah, I'm going to go enjoy some dinner, and I might pop back on if Beatles hops on to do a broadcast later, or anybody else is on. Maybe Al Red Sox fan pops on. Sometimes he has a Friday night chat, or Dave Gardner sometimes does stuff on his channel. So I'll look for that. And cool. It's been fun. Yeah, it might be boring to all, but at least I had two fans here, Big Clue and MV, that were excited to watch me in the moment create a player on demand just for MV. So it was fun. So guys, have a good evening. May catch you on another broadcast, but I'm going to go eat dinner now. And we'll see you down the road.